going on, everyone? So we got some new updates in regards to the Los Angeles Lakers potentially trading for Dejounte Murray, and the Brooklyn Nets may actually be a suitor for the Lakers as well. So per Shams, Dejounte Murray is going to continue to emerge as the top target for the Lakers from what I'm told. Another scenario to keep an eye on, players that the Lakers do have interest in, I'm told, is 3 guys from the Nets: Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Royce O'Neal. And this is Shams' update on the Lakers' options before the trade deadline. So, also we got a report today that D'Angelo Russell is a target for the Brooklyn Nets, that the Brooklyn Nets are actually interested in DLO. Obviously, Spencer Dinwiddie, he just seems completely checked out in Brooklyn. There are so much so that there are reports that the Brooklyn Nets believe that he is just showing up for a paycheck. But even if he was playing well for them, even if he was checked in, he's not the playmaker that D'Lo is. And one of the things that Brooklyn needs badly is a playmaker, somebody that can get guys going, get guys in their spots, run some pick and roll action with Nick Claxton, set up and get Bridges some good looks, some good shots, as well as his ability to shoot playoff ball. So when Bridges does have the ball, or Johnson does have the ball, or Thomas does have the ball, D'Lo is still a threat out there on the court and his ability to shoot. So this is great. This is something that I've talked about heavily and why I've mentioned the Brooklyn Nets so frequently in various trades, whether it's a 3-team deal, whether it's the Lakers trading straight up, just because Brooklyn is one of the few teams that needs somebody like a D'Angelo Russell. And one of the things when you are talking about these types of trades is and it's one of the reasons Dejounte Murray is not this super sought after guy right now, right? Because Dejounte Murray is an excellent player. And so many people are like, well, nobody wants D'Lo. Well, no one really wants Dejounte Murray either. Where are all the other teams that are putting in offers for Dejounte Murray? And it's not because D'Lo isn't a great player. It's not because Dejounte Murray isn't a great player. It's because there's only so many teams that actually need a point guard. And the reason I think a team like Brooklyn would be happy to take on D'Lo is because it won't cost them anything, right? So, for example, right, the Dejounte Murray trade. We need to find a third team for D'Lo, and Brooklyn makes sense in that regard, right? Well, if you're Brooklyn, yes, you need a point guard. You could either take a bunch of assets, have to give up young guys like maybe a Thomas and a couple firsts, and go get Dejounte Murray, or you could just be the third team that facilitates a deal and get D'Lo for free, right? Because you're getting rid of Spencer Dinwiddie regardless, whether you are able to trade him or you're able to just let him go and expire in the offseason. But if you can get a point guard that makes more sense, maybe even get like a second round pick or something like that for facilitating, well, then you just gained a free asset. So even if D'Lo does leave, or let's say you decide, it's not working out with D'Lo and you want him to leave and he opts out of his player option, well, at least you got something in return rather than Spencer Dinwiddie, who's just going to leave for nothing, and you lost him for nothing, right? So it makes sense in multiple facets for the Brooklyn Nets. Lakers get their guy in Dejounte Murray, and then maybe the Lakers can even work out a deal to where they get multiple pieces from Brooklyn as well and kind of get this expanded 3-team deal. Brooklyn wants D'Lo, or they're at least interested in D'Lo, right? So they could tag on, get D'Lo, and then maybe we can even add in like a, Rui Hachimura or something like that to maybe tack on to go get a Royce O'Neal or a Dorian Finney-Smith. But Spencer Dinwiddie, from like the Lakers standpoint, this is just me. Personally, I don't like the idea of Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie, don't get me wrong, is a solid player. I don't believe he's an upgrade over D'Lo. On the defensive side of things, yes, he is. But as far as shooting and scoring the basketball and things like that, he isn't. My biggest concern with Spencer Dinwiddie is the fact that he's just kind of checked out as far as the Brooklyn Nets go, right? And my concern is okay, let's say you get him to the Lakers. Is he able to, one, kind of bounce back? And two, if he is able to bounce back, right, at what does it take for him to now check out again, right? Because usually when there's a pattern of players or when a guy checks out entirely, again, there are reports from Brooklyn that this guy just basically is pulling a Ben Simmons, right? Like he does like what he did in Philly. Like he just doesn't want to play. He's not really there. He's just showing up so he doesn't get fined. He's showing up so he can get his paycheck. And I mean, if you look at his production, if you've watched some of the games outside of the one Laker game where he gave 19 effortlessly, but that's more so a testament to the Lakers than it is Spencer Dinwiddie. But like if you just look at his production this season with Brooklyn, it's been tragic, right? I mean, he's shooting 39% from the field. His minutes, his shot attempts have gone down. He's shooting 32% from three-point range on 6 attempts. He's shooting 48% from the field in total. Free throw shooting, he's shooting 78% from the field. He's averaging 3.4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 13 points, with basically a steal and half a block, right? Like, to me, now, maybe if you could get Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal, you get all three in a deal. Maybe then it's like, all right, well, you just kind of take Spencer Dinwiddie as like a playmaker, as just like another guard to be on there and prove your defense. You could really literally start all three of those guys. Like you could have a starting five of Spencer Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis if you wanted to do that. I don't hate that idea. I would rather personally use the Brooklyn Nets as that springboard to get the job done to go and get Dejounte Murray and then try to figure out what other pieces, what other players could you get from Brooklyn to kind of finalize and finish this deal. That's how I would like to look at it, or how I would hope that the Lakers look at it. If plan B is to get Spencer Dinwiddie, then I guess. But ideally, I don't know, it's just, to me, I would rather keep D'Lo at that point and figure out what it is. Because at least D'Lo has the chemistry, right? Could you go get just a Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith, right? To where you're getting both of those guys. And it's not like it's one of those things where, if Spencer Dinwiddie was on a multi-year deal, and it's like, well, okay, we'll trade you Dorian Finney-Smith and we'll trade you Royce O'Neal, but you have to take Spencer Dinwiddie, then maybe. But from the Lakers standpoint, look, Spencer Dinwiddie is a expiring contract, right? And look, if he can get back to being the Spencer Dinwiddie of past years, right, then I think he'd be valuable, right? Because he's had years where, with Dallas, he was averaging 17.7 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds with a steal and half a block. He was shooting 81% from the foul line. He was shooting 55.5% from the field, or had an EFG. He was shooting 50% from 2-point range, and he was shooting 40% from 3-point range. If you get that Spencer Dinwiddie with that defense that he's able to play, then sure, right? Because that's what locked in, engaged Spencer Dinwiddie looked like. He was also playing 34 minutes a game, getting 13 shot attempts as opposed to 10 and a half with the Brooklyn Nets. So if you could get that version of Spencer Dinwiddie, then I'm all for it. Because then now you got a guy shooting 40% from 3 on good volume. Again, basically 6.5 attempts. So if you can get that and he can get back to some version of that, then I don't hate the idea. But also to me, it's just let him go to the Atlanta Hawks. If he becomes that version for Atlanta, then that's huge for Atlanta. Because Spencer Dinwiddie is a guy that makes more sense alongside Trae Young than a D'Angelo Russell. And now they have that defensive point of attack guard that can play off ball, make plays when need be, but also could play off ball. And if he could get back to 40% from them, then that would be huge for Atlanta. And they may be more interested and more willing of okay, well, we get Spencer Dinwiddie. If it works out, great. We can work out trying to re-sign him to a long-term deal. If it doesn't work out, then he's an expiring contract. We just let him go and good luck to you, right? And then we got, the first from the Lakers and a pick swap or whatever it ultimately turns out being. And then to me, again, Spencer Dinwiddie goes to the Atlanta Hawks. The Lakers send D'Lo to the Brooklyn Nets, and then we get Dejounte Murray, and then if I'm the Lakers, I'm trying to figure out how do we get Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith, or at least one of them. I would prefer Dorian Finney-Smith over Royce O'Neal. Look, I'm not opposed to either of them. But Dorian Finney-Smith, to me, he's just bigger, more versatile. I just think that he's a guy that would be an upgrade over our current wings and give you a real two-way guy. But like just looking at Royce O'Neal, again, it's not like he's a slouch. He's 6'6", 6'7", guy that, again, is not going to jump out on the page, but he's a role player. He's more for his defense, being 3-and-D guy. And this season, he's shooting 36% on 5 attempts, 48% from 2-point range, and he's averaging 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. So rebounding from him would be excellent and extremely warranted. He's basically like Royce O'Neal is basically an upgraded version of Taurean Prince, right? He'll give you the shooting, the floor spacing, but he's just a better defensive guy. And to me, it's like if I had to choose between Taurean Prince and Royce O'Neal and one of them playing 35 minutes a game, I'd rather have Royce O'Neal because he's just the better defensive guy, right? Like, and Darvin Ham just seems to love to play Taurean Prince 30 to 35 minutes a game. But from the Dorian Finney-Smith side, again, now you're talking about a guy that's 6'7", 6'8", versatile. He could play small forward. He could play shooting guard. He could play power forward if you needed to. He's a guy that can defend the best player on the other team, just give you some more defense, give you some more versatility in that regard. And he's shooting 38.3% from three-point range. And that is including, he was on a terrible slump. I mean, like one of 12 type three-point shooting slumps. Like he was on a terrible slump, and he's still shooting 38% this year. Now, he was shooting over 40% like a month ago, so he's having a down month, but he's a guy that's a veteran that has done this time and time again all season. Even if he does continue and he does struggle a little bit coming to the Lakers, he's still, if he gives us 38%, I'll take that struggle all day. He would be like our third best shooter on the Lakers. And he's averaging 9 points, again, 5 rebounds. The rebounding really helps. The rebounding would be a ton. 1.4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Give me that. We need that. We need that versatility out on the wing, out on the perimeter. Our three-point shooting is just, our three-point defense has just been atrocious. Our three-point shooting has been atrocious also. So if you told me trade deadline, the Lakers got Dejounte Murray, Royce O'Neal, and Dorian Finney-Smith for basically a first, a pick swap, 2-3 seconds, whatever, Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell, sign me up. I'll take that all day, right? If you have to, throw in a Jalen Hood-Schifino, throw in a Maxwell Lewis, whatever, right? Whatever you have to do to get those 3 guys, I think would just be huge for the Lakers. And don't underestimate the value of adding not only another all-star player, but then 2 complementary, real starting level rotation guys. You could turn the Lakers season around rather quickly, right? Because now, one of the Lakers' biggest problems is it just seems like the team is kind of checked out. The energy isn't there. Guys are frustrated. And I understand a lot of that is Darvin Ham, of course. But you go get 3 guys that haven't had the frustrations, that haven't had the noise, that aren't in the locker room dramas right now, aren't, checked out from Darvin Ham. They're coming in, they're excited, right? They have something to prove. They want to come in and show like, oh, look, you shouldn't have traded me. They're excited to be Lakers, right? Like all of these factors, they're coming in, they're bringing it 100%. They're coming with that effort. They're coming with that energy. So now you got those 3 guys coming in, going 100 miles an hour. You know LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to show up. So right there's 5 guys, bare minimum, that are going to show up game in and game out. Then you have Jared Vanderbilt. When you get Gabe Vincent back at some point, he's going to be ready to go. He's going to be opting because he's been injured the whole time. So all of a sudden you get 6, 7, 8 guys that are basically just bringing energy, bringing effort. You can rattle off a bunch of wins here. And ideally, we need this trade sooner rather than later. But time will tell. We will see. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel about this news? Are you excited for it? Are you not? Do you think that, hey, until it gets done, things are finalized? No. No. Basically, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Would you be game for Dejounte Murray, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith? I know the Lakers still need a backup center, but to me, I think that would be easier. right? There's still free agents like, Bismack Biyombo that's out there that you could go and sign. There's going to be guys on the buyout market, right? There's still like other free agents like a Myers Leonard or whatever. To me, the center position is probably the easiest to resolve. Or you go get like a Nick Richards or something like that. Again, I'm not too concerned about it personally, but how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Again, let me know. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.